Hello everyone. On behalf of Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology and the Ministry of Food Processing Industries, I welcome you all for the video demonstration session on processing of coffee powder under capacity building activity of PMFME scheme. Green coffee means the dried seeds of Coffea arabica, Coffea liberica, Coffea excelsa or Coffea canephora or robusta, with their husks means mesocrap and endocrap removed. Coffee is grown in three regions of India, with Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu forming the traditional coffee growing region, followed by the new areas developed in the non-traditional areas of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha in the eastern coast of the country, and with a third region comprising the states of Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Tripura, Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh of northeastern India, popularly known as Seven Sister States of India. Coffee production is the industrial process of converting the raw fruit of the coffee plant into the finished coffee. The coffee cherry has the fruit or pulp removed, leaving the seed or bean, which is then dried. While all green coffee is processed, the method that is used varies and can have a significant effect on the flavor of roasted and brewed coffee. Two types of coffee varieties which are widely cultivated are Arabica coffee and Robusta coffee. Caffeine, the principal psychoactive substance which is responsible for refreshing effect when we drink coffee, is present more in Robusta coffee. Coffee processing from seed to cup. Step 1. Harvesting. Depending on the specific variety, it takes approximately 3 to 4 years for newly planted coffee bushes to bear fruit. The fruit commonly termed cherries. Depending on the degree of ripeness, the fruit turn from green to bright or dark red. Coffee can be hand harvested by people to ensure that only the ripe cherries are picked. Whether by machine or humans, coffee is always harvested by one of the following two methods. Strip picking. The cherries are stripped off the branch either by hand or by machine. Selective picking. The red cherries are picked and then green ones are left to ripen. Step 2. Cherry processing. After harvesting, cherries are processed as soon as possible to avoid spoilage. Depending on the available resources and location, one of the following two methods is used. The dry method. This method is the ancient method of processing cherries and is still popular in the regions where water is scarce. This method is also known as unwashed or natural processing. Most people who own small-scale farms use the dry method. The wet method. This method is a relatively new way of removing the skin from coffee cherries. It is also called as wet process because it uses water to both move the coffee fruit throughout the process and to extract the beans. The wet method involves cleaning the cherries and removing unripe and overripe cherries just as in the first method. The cherries are then put through a pulping machine that squeezes out the skin without damaging the beans. Step 3. Green coffee milling process. Before being taken to the market, the dried coffee beans are processed as follows. Hulling. Hulling parchment coffee involves removing the dried husk, means exocrap, mesocrap and endocrap. Step 4. Coffee roasting. Coffee roasting is a complex process that involves the careful application of heat from approximately 120 to 180 degrees for 7 to 10 minutes to roast the green coffee in an effort to transform the basic stuff of life contained within each seed into delightful aromas. Step 5. Coffee grinding. The primary goal of a grind is to produce the most flavor in a cup of coffee. The type of coffee brewer used determines how fine or coarse the coffee should be ground. The type of grinding determines how fast the coffee can release its flavors. This is the reason espresso coffee is so finely ground. On the other hand, coffee prepared with filter coffee makers is coarse grained. Step 6. Coffee tasting process. The packed coffee is repeatedly tested to additionally check and define its taste and quality. The process is called cupping and it takes place in a special room designed to enhance it. The process is quite similar to a wine tasting event. Step 7. Packaging. Coffee packaging is very important as any exposure to air could turn coffee into a lump. This is especially the case for ground coffee, which can quickly lose its flavors if exposed to air. This is the reason why coffee is usually packed in airtight containers and should be resealed carefully when not in use. Step 8. Storage. Mold infestation of green coffee can result from inappropriate storage conditions and lead to quality loss. It is necessary to keep the moisture content within a limit of 15% for avoiding microbial contamination and also to get better coffee powder. Finished goods should be stored in clean, airtight, dry conditions. Till now we have seen the processing of coffee powder demonstration video under PMFME scheme. The Ministry of Food Processing Industries, in partnership with state UT governments, has launched an all-India centrally sponsored Prime Minister Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises scheme for providing financial, technical and business support for upgradation of existing micro food processing enterprises.